it going?
Good, you?
I'm very good. Yeah, very good. Nice
Good.
to meet
Nice to
you.
see. Yeah, nice to meet you too. And thanks for the interview.
Yeah, my pleasure. You had a good weekend?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, I was actually in a cabin in the middle of nowhere with no
Yeah.
electricity, no running water.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, it was pretty cold this weekend, like minus
Yeah.
16, I think it was some days. So,
Okay.
yeah, it was challenging at times, but definitely worth it. So,
That's good. We're hiking or
yeah, we did like a 5 hour hike on
okay.
Saturday with like the rackets and all of that. And I'm not Canadian, so I'm not built for this.
Yeah, yeah.
But we got through it and it was fun.
That's good.
It
That's
was
good.
pretty cool. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. And after being involved in the scene for a long time, uh,
hmm
you finally have a record all of your own, not completely your own, but
Yeah.
it's got your name on it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah, how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, very good. It turned out it turned out probably better than I expected, especially some songs because we had kind of a limited time to do it because Christian, the bass player, he's from France and he was living here for 10 years, but he returned to France in I think it was the in August or something.
Okay.
So we had to we had a limited time to do the album, so I wrote a bunch of new songs that we didn't have too much time to rehearse, but because we played together a long time, even if some of them were new songs, it still turned out great. Yeah, I was a little bit stressed, but yeah, I'm happy with it.
Why now? Why did you want to put the album out this time in your life?
Well, I felt that I had songs that I would like to put out because I'm pretty picky about songwriting. Like I have a bunch of songs, but some of them I'm like, they might sound good when I write them, but then when we play them, they're not like as good. So I think now, or they're not like I imagined they would be.
Okay.
So I think that now I built confidence with writing, and I was really happy with these songs. I also wanted to have like an album that holds together, but like each songs really have something. I didn't want two songs to sound kind of the same, but because it's all the same people playing on the album, it kind of glues everything together. And the I would say the second reason is probably of a playing point of view because a lot of the stuff is improvised. They're improvised solos. We play all together in the studio. There's no click, so it's kind of more old school. If we screw up a take, we kind of have to do it again. So
Right.
so I felt ready at this time to do it, and in the studio, it's not like playing live or something. It's you always have that little you always have to stay relaxed and calm and it's not easy music to play, I don't think. So yeah, I think it was at that point where I was kind of felt ready to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, listening to it, it doesn't sound easy to play, I have to say.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I've been trying to learn guitar since I was a little kid, and I can play very like super basic guitar, even
Mhm.
at this point. So I'm always impressed with anybody who can play it, but when they can play it like you, I'm just like, wow.
Even though I'm not thinking of I want to play hard music, I still want to play like pretty melody. For me, my my point is like does my mom like the song? If she likes the song, then and she doesn't know anything about music, she's just whatever she listens to. And you're gonna say she's my mom, of course she's gonna say she likes it, but meaning that I don't want to play music for musician and I want to play music for everyone. So even though it's it might be more complicated music in compared to the average, let's say, pop music. I still want to play music for everyone, and I still want to be accessible to everyone while play the music I want to play.
Yeah. So where did music start for you? Did you learn at an early age?
Yeah, I started to play violin when I was pretty young, probably like 5 or 6. Played for 10 years. I liked it, but it was just like classical music at a time. I don't appreciate it. I didn't appreciate it like I appreciate it today, you know what I mean? Like all the bands I was listening to, there was no violin in it, so I couldn't really kind of um, appreciate it that way. So and then I switched to guitar. My dad is also a guitar player. So there was always guitar around the house. Like I always knew like how to play a little bit. But when I was maybe 13, I really made the switch and yeah, started to play.
You said none of the bands you were listening to had violin. So what
Yeah.
what were you listening to back then when you were young?
Yeah, when I was younger, I was like a skater, punk rock kid. So I was listening to like, Green Day, Blink-182, all these
Yeah.
bands that were big when I was younger. And but also a lot of blues. And I think that's where the kind of improvisation part of music kind of touched me because blues player improvised a lot. So that's what drew me to when I started to play guitar. I was like, oh, these guys actually, because I would hear like I was a lot into Stevie Ray Vaughan, and then I would hear his solo on his record, and then watch some of his show on YouTube and be like, oh, he's not doing the same thing. So that's in those moments that I realized these guys were improvising, and and then from there, from blues, I discovered jazz and fusion and stuff. But I think for me, it was really the improvisation that drew me into this world, the ability to just um, yeah, to just feel what I want to play in the moment and play it.
On Hometown Zero, which is a great title, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
Like, how did these songs like come to life? Like, how do you actually go from having nothing to having a finished song that ends up on the album? What's your process?
Well, most of the songs, it was either me. There's two songs that Christian, the bass player, wrote on the record. The rest, I wrote them. So we often come to the rehearsal. We'll have the song map out. Like, I'll be working at home. I'll have either a melody idea or a riff or something. And so the songs are pretty mapped out, like the melody is there, the chord changes are there. And then when we get all together, we play, and sometimes someone's gonna go like play something very interesting at one point that's gonna become part of the song, part of the arrangement. And that's how we build it. So if I look at like my old charts now, it's not exactly what we play on the record, because sometimes even when we were recording, stuff happened that we kept in there that we
Yeah.
never play. But the song is pretty mapped out. Like the melody is there and stuff. And then when we come to different solo sections, then it's a little bit more open in terms of it's a lot more improvised at those sections, but the melody and the chords are written down, and I don't remember exactly like how I came up with any of the songs really. Meaning like I don't know, maybe I listened to something and it inspired me to write it, or a melody come to me. I don't really have a process in that way, but a lot of it is made also when we play out together and find ideas.
So have these songs been around for a while, or are they quite new to you? Or
Some of them are quite new, some of them were around for a while. Like I said earlier, yeah, I was a little bit stressed because some of the songs we didn't play that much, like Upsy Daisy. That was the first single that was out. We only played a couple times before
wow.
going in the studio. And some of the songs like Ciel Blues, which is kind of the weird kind of blues thing, is that I wrote maybe a couple years ago, except I rework it a little bit. I added a section and stuff. So yeah, it depends. And I guess that's why it took me a long time to do the album, because it took me a long time to write songs I was happy with.
You mentioned that is it your bass player that's gone back to France?
Yeah, yeah, Christian, the bass
Yeah.
player.
So who else helped you on the record?
Martin Auguste, he's playing drums. He's from Montreal, great drummer. Um, been playing together with Martin for probably 3 or 4 years. And so that's the three of us on the record. And Gregory Fitzgerald at the studio Sophronic is where we recorded. Also played a little bit of percussion on the album, yeah.
What
And
about production? Who was your
yeah, so we pretty much did the production, like I was the
oh yeah.
producer, quote unquote, yeah. And Simon Walls mixed and mastered the album. But so how it worked is that we went into the studio for we had the studio for 3 days. So we recorded everything we actually recorded everything in 2 days. And
Wow.
then there was a song that was originally gonna be on the record, which was just a solo guitar song. But because we still had the studio for a third day, we decided to try out other songs. And World, which is the second song on the album, was not supposed to be on the album, but we did a few takes, thought it sounded great, and so we kept it in there. And then I did with Greg, the sound engineer, a couple other days where we would do percussions, guitar overdubs, little things like this. I wanted the album to be really the trio playing kind of live together, but because it's an album, it's also nice to kind of add some extra stuff,
Yeah.
because we can, and I think it's different than in a live situation. When you just listen to an album, it's nice just to have a couple more other things going on. Yeah.
Yeah. And have you played these songs live in front of an audience?
Yeah, yeah, we did some of them. We did play, not all of them. Yeah, there's maybe I think Upsy Daisy we never played uh in front of anyone. And well, the last song on the album, which is not really kind of a live band song, which is like just a really different song. The others we did, yeah, and they evolved that way too. We see how it sounds live and work from there. Yeah.
Okay, so the album's out on the 26th, which is this
Yeah,
coming Friday. Do
yeah.
you have live shows planned?
Well, I'm actually right now booking for festivals this summer. So I'll probably try to book some other stuff too before, but again, because Christian went back to France, now I'm playing with, gonna start this week actually to play with two other of my friends. So we'll see how that turns out. Yeah. And we'll
Okay.
see for the live shows. I might, depending on the budget, of course, that's always the big thing. But I would like to maybe add a keyboard player. I think, for live shows, it could be a good option too. Yeah.
And I've seen you on stage with a couple of other people,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Hanora and how
And
do you say her
Magella.
name?
Magella.
Majella. I wanted to get
Yeah.
that right. Who else have you been working with recently? Anybody else?
These are the main two things I do now outside of my own stuff. Majel, we're recording her album right now, so
Oh,
that's
cool.
almost done. But yeah, that keeps me busy. And well, other than that, I decided really this year to kind of focus on my own project as much as possible. But because I'm a freelance musician, sometimes also play with other people and stuff
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
needed. Yeah, yeah.
So, any other Montreal artists that you think we should know about that are doing good stuff?
There's a lot that I saw and that we play with. One that I really like is I don't know if you know Backwash.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
she yeah
I kind of know her a little bit. I've been to a few of her shows, and
yeah I've
I
seen
actually saw her when I saw you play. Who were you opening for? It was at the Rialto, I think.
yeah with for yeah it was for Pop Montreal. I can't remember her name. We
Was
were
it with
Allison.
Alison Russell?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was at that show, and
Okay.
I was going up the stairs, and Backwash was coming down the stairs.
Okay. Yeah, that's funny. That was the drummer on that show is Martin, actually, the guy that's playing drums on my album.
Ah, okay.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I think
Backwash is
she's
great.
I think she's doing I think her music is great and it's very different and I guess I'm drawn to stuff that I've never really heard before. Uh, that's very different. There's a few other Montreal artists I saw. I can't right now remember all their names,
Put
but
you on the spot.
yeah, but there's a lot of great music I think being made in Montreal. Very eclectic uh, music as well, So
Out of all the songs on the album, if you could only play one to somebody who'd never heard any of your music, which one would you choose?
I would probably choose Upsy Daisy. I would say that was the first single. I guess that's why I released it as a single because I
Yeah.
thought that might be. Um, yeah, I think this one because it kind of has a little bit of everything, and I think that it sounds to me anyway. I think it sounds pretty accessible, but with kind of also maybe stretch people minds a little bit.
Yes,
Um,
stretch people's minds.
in terms of sounds and in terms of stuff, but it's very melodic, I think, too, at the same time. But like I said, all the songs on the album are pretty different. And when I send the album to a bunch of radio station and stuff, and without telling them like, oh, you have to play that song or whatever. I mean, I released Pepsi Daisy as a single afterwards because my wife was telling me, well, if people hear you on the radio and the album's just out on the 26th, how are they gonna know? Like they're gonna forget basically. So I was like, okay, I'll release a single. But when I sent the album to radio station, everybody kind of picked a different song.
All right,
It,
that's
it
good.
wasn't really like okay, everybody picks that song. Like this is the obvious. So I was kind of happy with that. So yeah, I guess I think there's something for everyone in the
Yeah,
in the record. Yeah.
nice. Well, congratulations on getting the debut out.
I
Like
thank
it's not
you.
easy to even get a record out. So
Yeah,
well done for that.
really happy. Yeah.
Yeah, you had a couple of challenges with getting, people kind of leaving for Europe,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. But
but it's still happening. And
yeah, for sure. And I'm sure I'll get the opportunity to play with Krista again. I've been playing with him for like 10 years, so we really it's like we don't have to talk to each other and we just play and we know where we're at. So it's really it's really special, I think, for a musician to have that connection with another musician. So
yeah,
I'm sure I'll have to go play in Europe, but yeah.
yeah. Well, I wish you all the best with it. It's a
All
great
right, thank you.
album. It's a great album. I've been listening to it this morning, and yeah, hopefully I'll get to see you play it at some point. So
Yeah, well, I'll let you know for sure.